Hello and welcome to Fiber Fables by Hawthorne's Homestead. My name is Elizabeth if you're new, and if you're returning, it's wonderful to have you back. It's also wonderful to have you here if you're new. I don't want to imply that it's not. But I digress. So today I want to talk about it's been kind of a hot subject, at least on my algorithm, and that is low buys and no buys and things like that. I am doing a low buy year this year, but I don't want to focus on the general low buy that I'm doing. I want to focus on one aspect of it, which is my craft aspect. So I have, whenever you're doing a low buy, they always tell you you need to have your why, you need to have goals, you need to have rules. Maybe that's why it's on my algorithm, because I watched a lot of them, but I feel like a lot of people are doing this right now because of the state of the world, and we're all trying to save some money and things like that. So what I want to talk about again is my crafting, which includes knitting, crocheting, spinning. I'm trying to get into sewing a little bit, painting, drawing, things like that. So what I'm going to do today is tell you, hi, I am petting you, I promise. You are a good boy. He's a needy boy, but he's a good boy. So I want to talk about and show projects that have been sitting around for a little while that need finished. Those are going to be part of my goals. And I want to give a little tour of my current craft supply storage so you kind of see what I'm working with. And then I want to show projects I've already started and ones that I am planning on starting. I don't have plans like for the entire year. I just have some general ideas that I will probably get done in a few months unless something shiny happens that I want to work on more. But the main goal is to use supplies that I already have. So for my why, I have use and appreciate what I have, save money, and make room in my stash in my home for what I love. There are some things in my stash that are not as much my style because I either bought them to make like a gift for somebody else, or they were my style before, but my style has kind of changed a little bit. So I want to cycle through those things and have a stash that serves me better. So for the, will you stop? You are getting love, sir. Oh, yes. But hey, Milo, did you know that when we cuddle like this, you don't need pets the whole time? You didn't know that? Oh, you don't believe it? Well, I will do my best. I will do my best, baby. I promise. There we go. Anyway, sorry. And sorry, I'm getting over a cold. So rules. I want to finish projects that have been started and have been sitting around for a while. And no buying new supplies unless it will finish an already started project or is for a special occasion. Special occasions are if a friend comes to me and says, I want this specific thing for a Christmas present and I want it in this color and this type of yarn, anything like that. I will purchase the needed supplies to make that gift for them. Another special occasion is if I go to a fiber festival, not like a regular yarn store, but at least not the regular ones that I visit. Like if I took a trip out of town or something, maybe I'd buy like a memory skein or something. But for the most part, fiber festivals. But still, at a fiber festival, I have to have a budget that must be strictly adhered to, and as well as a list of wanted or needed items. I can find, a couple little things here and there that weren't on my list as long as I am within budget. So let's talk a little bit about some of my projects that I have already started. The first one here, I've just been calling the Patchwork Cardigan. And I'll tell you about some of this yarn and where I got it and things like that. Basically, I saw a pattern that was crocheted. It was granny squares. And you make a front panel, a back panel, and sleeve panels, and then you sew it up. And I thought, why can't I do something like that with knitted squares? And then I thought, it's ridiculous to knit squares and sew them all together when it's not like a granny square. Like it just felt like extra work. So what I've been doing is making strips of squares. So I have, sorry Milo, my different colors, and this is a panel that is the front and the back. So it's going to be a little cropped. And this is the first panel that I have completed. Hi, baby. And the yarns, oh, let's see if I can actually remember what everybody is. This I can tell you. They're at a fiber festival that happens in Indiana every year. There is a company called Bewitched Pigments that has been going the last couple of years. And this is their color altar cloth. It is 100% superwash merino, and it is a worsted weight, and it's all purples, some kind of pinky purples, and some white mixed in there. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And I had 2 skeins of that, and then I had these 3 skeins where I have a dark gray, a dark purple, and a light gray. And I may have to put in the description what these are because I'm not sure I entirely remember. They are a fairly popular brand, but I picked these up at a yarn shop in Duluth, Minnesota called Yarn Harbor. I was there visiting a friend and picked up those, and it just goes so well with the altar cloth. So I put them together. Oh, did I not pet you enough? And then I also have this merino white that I was just afraid that these wouldn't be enough. So I started adding in some of the white. And I got this, I forget the name of the store, but I got it on Baines Island in Seattle, Washington. So that is one project I have started that I would like to finish. Maybe it's a good thing he left. Now I have space. Pardon me again. So the next one that I'm working on, I think the pattern was originally called Silent Night. I've been calling it Santa's Ride because it is a color work that shows Santa flying over a little village and it's snowing. And this has just been, it's been fun to work on. Don't get me wrong. I have very much enjoyed it, but it has also been slightly more challenging than I thought it was going to be. So that hasn't gotten worked on as much as I would have liked because I have to really sit down and really focus on it. So that is another project I would very much like to do. The yarn for this is, do I have any of the tags? Yes. It is the premium yarn knit and crochet. Here you go, kitty. Essential wool, superwash merino from Joanne Fabrics. May she rest in peace. Okay. And then I have this one. This is a scrap project where I am making a sweater, as you can see. This one is going to have to go on hold for a little bit longer because the main colors I have left are this red, this orange, and this gold. And I don't want the bottom of it to just be all those colors. I have enough that I could at least finish the body. But like I said, don't want it to just be all those colors. I want more the vibe of up here to continue through the sweater. And then of course I'll have to do the sleeves. But this is where I'm at for my scrappy sweater that I would like to finish by the end of the year if I can. And hopefully this project going through and using some of my yarn will create more scraps for me to add to Scrappy Sweater. There are two more that I'd like to talk about that I've started that have been sitting around, and one is a scrappy blanket, and it's with bulky yarn, and I have a big tote with all the bulky yarn scraps and the project sitting in there, and I was too lazy to get the tote out, so I don't have that to show you, but just take my word for it, there is a scrappy blanket. And then the last one, I've had this sitting around for years. This is my initial square that I did, and I did this for fun. Just picked some fabric and I did not applique them correctly. I just laid them down and then embroidered around it because again it was just a for fun whatever piece. And so I mixed applique with embroidery on this fabric, and I thought that that was just really beautiful, and have since started other flower motifs and such. I have this, I have the blanket all sewn together. I just would need to do, or not all sewn together, I have the top sewn together of squares. Let's open it up and see if I have, yeah. So I have completed, this is dirty, I'm sorry, it has like cat hair and stuff all over it. So I have done this square, which is similar to the original, and I'm just going to make on each of these squares a little kind of garden scene essentially, and this will probably be a gift because these are not my colors, but they are what I had when I started it. So we're just gonna, this all needs ironed anyway, so I'm just tossing it together. All right. And as for projects I have planned that I have the materials for that I would like to get done, and I will show pictures of them on the screen. I have the Home for Christmas mittens, and I forget who they're by. I apologize. It will be in the description. And they're just a beautiful little mitten, and my mom absolutely loves that truck with the Christmas tree motif, so I thought I would whip a pair of those up for her. I also have a sweater pattern that Mom has requested. I knit her one that was oversized and in bulky yarn, and it was so warm and she loved it so much, and then she dropped a bunch of weight, and now because it was oversized to begin with, now it just absolutely hangs off of her. So she would like basically the same thing but in a smaller size, and I have the yarn for that. And I have actually finished this project already, if I could reach it. I've just been calling this pink scarf. This is also going to be a gift. It is a corner to corner granny stitch with a lacy picot edging, and just fits like so. This yarn, the pink, I got from, I'm trying to remember the real name of it. There is a book series that's actually a little older now, written by Maggie Sefton, that is about a yarn shop in Colorado. And the yarn shop is a real place. It just has a slightly different name. And in the book, it's like Fort Connor, but in real life, it's Fort Collins. But it's like House of Lambspun or something like that. I don't remember if House of Lambspun is the name of it in the book or if that's the real name. I will again link that below. This yarn was actually on clearance. It is a cotton silk blend, and the white is just a leftover that I had from something else. So we already have done and dusted one project that is on the list. So that's a really good momentum boost there. And two more things. One is a hexie cardi that I want to make, and I don't want to talk about it too terribly much because it's going to be a gift, but I have all the yarn and everything that I need for that. And finally, I would like to quilt a couple book sleeves that have a flap so that it's like the envelope that the book goes in and then the flap goes over. And I have, not quite within my reach, the fabric for that. And that is also going to be a gift. So those are the things that I already have planned. Let's take a look at the stash so you can see what all I'll be working with for the year and go from there. So over here is the bulk of my craft storage. I do have another shelf over there that we will visit in a minute, but this is mostly everything, and it is somewhat organized. It's mostly organized, but then there's like a couple of pockets of things that are not. For example, the top up here is not exactly what I would call organized, but what I essentially have is in these boxes here and also some up here are fibers that are ready for spinning. And then this tower is my fabric tower. And over here is the yarn tower. Starting with, I have scraps up here that are the good scraps, that are the better yarns that if I'm working on a scrap project but I want something really nice, I will work from here. Versus this is, you know, the acrylic, the average, the normal. Let go. All right, fine. You have lost your privileges of being in there. Kind of the normal acrylic, but not necessarily bad, just not merino. It's kind of thing. And then I have all my cotton yarn here, all my hand spun, and then the rest of it is organized by weight. So then I have painting and other craft supplies here. Over here on the floor, we have kind of a mess. We have, this is kind of that blanket yarn that I don't use very often, so I need to come up with a use for those. That's the yarn for the hexie cardi that you can't see. Sorry, just pointing at things. This is yarn. I was originally going to make a blanket out of this, so that's why there's so much of it. So I will have extra of that. And down here is also where the tote is with all the bulky yarn. So I just wanted to show you, even though it's a little bit embarrassing, a little bit of what it's like to actually live in the apartment. And this is the to-do pile as far as knitting goes. So yeah, that's a lot. So over here we have a bit of a mess. But what we have is knitting, round knitting needles, flat knitting needles, and crochet hooks, sewing patterns. This is my steamer for blocking, and embroidery floss, ball winder, some notions, threads, things like that. I have some eggs I'd like to paint, just some more of the fiber arty but crafting supplies. This is embroidery patterns. And then down here I have 3 drawers. I know you can only see 2 of them. The bottom drawer has fabric and some blankets, including the one that I showed you that is the applique and the embroidery. And here is yarn that I have already allocated and set aside for specific projects. So they're not part of the general population, but hey, I know what I'm doing with them, so they hang out here. And then up here is some scrap fabric, some upcycling, and some mending that all needs done. So there's the tour and the general plan. And one thing that I want to do to try to keep myself motivated is to kind of check in with you with a long form video about every quarter, kind of show you some of the things that I've made, confess if I bought things that I shouldn't have, or if I bought something to finish a project, and go for, us hang out and talk about my crafting, which is something I very much enjoy, hence I have a channel. Anyway, and then I'm thinking maybe some shorts here and there to show projects that I have finished, that, just a quick video of like, hey, look at this, check this out. And yeah, like I said, just to keep me motivated and keep me accountable. So that's what I'm looking at right now. So I hope that that's really interesting to you guys and that you'll follow along. And if you're doing any kind of a low buy or no buy year, I would love to hear about it, especially if it's crafting related. But even if it's not, I again would love to hear about it. I'd love to cheer you on as much as you're cheering me on just by being here. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for joining me. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you would like to follow along on this journey, and have a wonderful whatever day, weekend, month. Just have a wonderful. Thank you so much.